Okay, so for our station this week, second grade review, we're looking at solving problems with length. Okay, so I want you to be thinking, we're going back to that word reasonableness, thinking about what is reasonable and really using the skill of estimating, okay, based on what you know. So we know that an inch is about the width of 2 fingers. You measure the length of a pencil or how wide your desk is. Picture frame, okay? Anything that is a little bit less than a foot, which is about the length of a piece of paper, notebook paper or so. You can measure using feet. You can measure things like how tall we are, how big a room area rug is, or even the height of our door, the perimeter all the way around our classroom. So that's what we would use. We would use a foot, to measure some things like those. A yard is actually 3 feet, but it's about the distance from a doorknob to the floor. So kind of picture a classroom door. And you're going to use it to measure things like how long a football field is. You'll hear that all the time if you are ever watching a game. You know, how many yards did they run? How many yards was the throw? How many yards did they gain? So, or the distance around a track, the perimeter of a school instead of the perimeter of a classroom like we saw before with a foot. So a yard is 3 feet. Then we have a mile. A mile is 4 times around a football field. So you see those tracks that go around the football field. You have to run that 4 times to make 1 mile. We use miles to measure things like distances to other cities or distances on a map at all. Definitely distances that planes travel. So if we look at these 4 pictures, which of these objects would be measured in feet? Well, I think we just covered this one would be measured with miles. And this one is definitely less than a foot, so we wouldn't want to use feet to measure it. So it leaves us with those. This might be about a foot, and it's a little bit confusing because it goes on a foot. However, if we're measuring something in feet, that means it's multiple feet while being too small to measure with multiple yards. So this one would the couch would be most likely measured with a foot. With feet, sorry. Okay, so if we're looking to find the measure, to measure the length of this little Yeti mug, what would you use? We've got inches, starting at the beginning, we had inches, feet, yards, and miles. Obviously, I think we know we're going to use inches here because a foot is just too big and everything else was bigger than a foot, okay? What about this one? So yay, inches. Look at this on a map. Okay, we've got all of these different cities to get to in Europe. Gosh, makes you want to go. It's not going to be inches. It's not going to be feet because that's too many feet. This one's going to be miles. All right. Now, what about a truck? Not miles, maybe how far they go. However, to measure the length of the truck, we're going to use feet. Yards, it tricked me. Okay, and for the door, we're going to use feet. And for the phone, I think we can go smaller than a foot. That's going to be inches. Now, this is kind of fun. Which of these animals is less than a foot long? Less than a foot. So, we used a piece of paper. Obviously, the elephant and the horse are going to be too big. So, less than a foot is going to be this little hamster, gerbil, mouse, whatever it is. And then if we want to go from shortest to longest, we got to start with our little mouse here for shortest. Okay, what do you think is going to be longest next? I think so too. I think it's going to be the goat. We've got the horse or this elephant. Now, I don't know. It's kind of tough to tell on that elephant there. Let's see. We were right on the mouse. We were right on the goat. Well, let's see what happens. It says the horse is going to be shorter, so I'm going to assume that is a full-size grown elephant. Yes, the tusks kind of give that away too. Alrighty, guys, that is it for measuring. Good luck on your station. Watch the instructional video if you need any help with it.